I'd served 29 years in the military and the police, and things that I thought were long forgotten weren't, and they came back stronger and stronger, and I was struggling with my mental health quite significantly. So the traditional counselling route wasn't working very well for me, so I was referred to this program. I was getting quite severe bouts of depression. I was remembering things I didn't want to remember in a very vivid and disturbing way. And it was affecting my quality of life quite, and my relationships, anger, silence, depression, that kind of thing. I would say for people like me, my age, that have either policed or seen or experienced the harmful sides of drugs done in the wrong way, if you're open-minded about what psychedelics can do in a clinical environment with clinical support and counseling support, the treatment is profound. It's a very emotional journey that you go on. But on the other side, you feel healed. It opened my thought process and my heart to things that I needed to confront, that I totally buried. And it turned out that the things that were causing me the problems weren't the things I thought they were. So I had an extremely profound experience with my father, who is deceased some 40 years now. And he actually walked me through the whole thought process. It's incredibly emotional, and you feel this huge outpouring of more emotion than you thought humanly possible. The experience of the medicine and then the experience of the counseling post-medicine really allows you to talk about things in a way that I don't think you would do if you hadn't done that as a whole experience. Anyone that's been in the military and seen service, or anyone that's been in the emergency services, should do this, whether you're experiencing problems or not. My problems didn't occur until years after I left the service. I was raised at a time when, be a man, put it away, don't deal with it, that kind of thing. And those things come back. They never really go away. When you can't process that imagery, when it comes back 25, 30 years later, in the normal toolkit, there's nothing anyone can do when you sit there and you talk about watching a child burn to death in front of you and you can't help the child, for example, which is one of mine. She was stuck on an alive electric train line, and we were having to wait for them to turn the electricity off, otherwise it would have killed us. So I basically just watched this child die in front of me, and I thought I dealt with that particular one, and that was the one for me that kept coming back when I had children 40 years after the event almost. No matter how many times you talk about that. And, a year ago, I couldn't have this conversation. I would have just been a mess. I went back and dealt with it and absolved myself of the blame that I felt I was carrying for it, which was a lot for instance. And there are another 100 incidents like that, These guys and girls that go out and do these jobs for us that we like to vilify on the news and social media. They're looking after us day in, day out, and we don't really give them the tools to cope with what happens when they're out there. And this does.